From the studios of Foxboro Cable Access, located in the center of Foxboro, Massachusetts, you are watching Around Foxboro.
Hello and welcome to Around Foxboro, where we talk about the people, places, and things that make Foxboro the gem of Norfolk County. My name is Mark Rivard, and I am delighted to have as my guest tonight, Emily Garven.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming in on this snowy day.
Yeah, walking in here, I was like, oh, it's a blizzard out.
And you are the Executive Director of the Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center.
I am, just started actually in August, so I've only been there for a little bit more than 3 months. Feels like forever now, but but yeah, I'm loving it so far.
And Emily is also, if you haven't seen her already, on Foxboro Cable Access, the hostess of Behind the Curtain. Mm-hmm. We talk about all the doings going on behind the scenes at the theater.
Yeah, I actually really love that show because people don't really know all the different other people that are involved in the theater, and there's so many volunteers and board members and groups that come and use the space. So that's really cool to be able to showcase all of the other people, and it's not just me there doing everything. We have a whole team of people. Sometimes it feels like it, but there's so much to do. But we just have such a whole team of people that are dedicated to that place, and I love being able to showcase all of them on that show.
That's awesome. A lot of people don't realize how many volunteers it takes. This is a nonprofit organization, a 501(c)(3). Mm-hmm. It's not like you're paying everybody to come in there. They're doing it out of the goodness of their heart to keep the theater going.
Yeah, and it really takes an army. I mean, we have over 300 events a year at the theater. And so now you think about it, that you need at least 7 volunteers per event, plus throughout the week of all the different things that we need to do, and mailing out thank you letters to people who donate, and a lot of those smaller tasks that make a big difference we need volunteers for. So it really does take an army of people to run a theater, and mostly volunteers.
So how did you get into theater?
Actually, very ironically enough, at the Orpheum, back when it was the Orpheum, before it was the Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center, I was a little kid and I did Annie there. I think I was 6 or 7 years old when I did my very first show there. I did it with Bay Colony back when Bill Cunningham ran the place, and that's where I got the theater bug. I wanted to try out for every single show, and I did a lot of stuff at the Orpheum as a kid, but I also theater hopped. I did a lot of things with Uncommon Theater, which would be either at the Orpheum or in the Mansfield schools. Mm-hmm. Got really involved with them as a kid. I did things in Westwood. I did things in Rhode Island at the Stadium Theater. I've even driven to Connecticut to do shows. Wow. So I was definitely a theater hopper as a kid, which I'm really grateful for now. I definitely had my places like the Stadium Theater and like the Orpheum where they kind of became my home, and I did a lot of shows there and got really involved there. But I really do appreciate every single place that I've done a show at, because I learned something new with every different organization that I worked with and every different theater that I went to. Every place does things a little differently, and there's pros and cons to working with every single organization. And so I was able to kind of take all of the things that I learned from working and doing shows at so many different places and be able to kind of come up with my own philosophy of how I want to run a theater and run an organization that's in the theater field.
So you got to learn every little nook and cranny of these theaters, every board that creaked, every...
Oh yeah, I did. Actually, I can definitely say a lot of what I've learned about running a theater and theater in general, I learned at the Stadium Theater in Rhode Island. I'm super grateful for my experiences there. I had directed my first show there, my first big main stage show at 19 years old. They really took a chance on me and gave me that opportunity. And then from there on, I just kept directing things. I was stage managing. I've did a little bit of everything, like gluing sequences on costumes and helping with focusing lights and kind of learning every single bit of the field. And that I will never take for granted. That has been one of the best experiences of my life to help me here, to help me when I was running Inspiration Performing Arts Company and doing musicals. You need to know everything, especially to appreciate every job. When you were the one that was sitting there gluing sequins on costumes, you then can go back and appreciate all the people that do that for you when you're in the position that I'm in one day. And so I definitely, worked my way up from the bottom and did a little bit of everything, and I'm really grateful that I had that opportunity. I definitely wouldn't be here right now if I didn't.
Well, you have to learn a little bit of everything. If you want to run everything, you have to know how to do everything. You have to be able to step in. If somebody's sick, you have to step in and do what needs to be done.
Yeah, and I'm definitely no expert at everything. Like, I can set a couple lights on the light board, but if you ask me to light a show, maybe not the most qualified person to do that. But definitely, have my foot in every aspect of theater, whether it's technical or design or directing, producing, choreographing, whatever it is, I've done it all. Not amazing at everything, but definitely like everything, and always am willing to continue to learn more and more about every part of the field, because I'm always learning. Yeah. Everyone should be.
Every day you're learning something new. And if you surround yourself with the right people, it makes it a lot easier.
Oh yeah, and then I've been so fortunate my whole life to have worked with amazing people, and many of whom I've brought here now that I'm in this job at the Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center. I've been able to take all those connections that I've made in the theater field all over the place and kind of bring them all here and get them involved in our theater. And so that's been amazing to see some of the people who have come and helped with sound and lighting and directing shows and even coming just to volunteer and sponsor events. It's been awesome.
That's awesome.
We've had a lot of support from the theater community.
Keep bringing them in.
Yeah,
the more the merrier.
Yeah, definitely will.
Welcome to Foxboro.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about inspiration, because I know that was a big part of your life.
Yeah,
it still is.
Yeah,
it still is.
I had to take a couple steps back from it just because so much going on with running the theater too. But inspiration it started out as a performing troupe. I started 10 years ago, so I was 13 years old. It was an idea that I had. I'd seen like a couple other organizations have groups that did a combination of singing and dancing and kind of did things at local events. And I wanted to start my own that was not anything about money or, about politics, because there's always theater politics.
No, there's no politics in theater. Come on.
I really wanted to start my own organization that was strictly about the kids and the experiences that I could give them, and was never supposed to be about making money and all of that stuff. So yes, I've been doing it 10 years and I don't make anything off of it.
Well, you do get a lot out of it.
I get so much out of it.
The audience gets so much out of it.
I can't even begin to explain how much I have gotten out of inspiration that isn't monetary. It doesn't need to be. I've gotten so much support. I've had so many amazing experiences. So on a side note, money does not matter in this field.
It doesn't matter in this field either, because I'm getting paid the same amount to do this job right now tonight.
So yeah, I started Inspiration when I was 13, and it started out really small. We rehearsed at the Norfolk Library, and we still to this day actually rehearse there. So we're really grateful to the Norfolk Library and now the Foxboro Library, which has welcomed us in there too, and a lot of different places like that, the Norfolk Grange, different dance studios that we've rented from, and we just started out doing local community events. We would perform at nursing homes. And then in 2012, I decided that I wanted to take my group to Disney World.
Wow.
So I was 15 when I applied for it. And I remember having a meeting with all the parents of the kids in the group, and my parents were there, and I said, if we get in and the Disney accepts us, can everybody go? Will everyone be able to afford it? Will it be something that we can feasibly do? And every single parent was expecting us not to get accepted, or expecting me to drop the ball or something. And so they all completely agreed, yeah, 100% we'll do it. And then a couple weeks later, I was like, hey guys, we're going to Disney World in April. So in April of 2013, when I was 16, we brought 80 people to Disney World with 80. Our group. So yeah, it was a huge trip, and it was actually definitely the turning point for Inspiration. It kind of changed the game and made me realize, and I think many people in the community, that wow, we can go do really big things. So we did Disney World. The next year, in 2014, we performed in New York City. So we performed places in Times Square, Union Square, a lot of different venues on the Intrepid Aircraft Carrier Museum.
Wow.
That same year, we performed for the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park, sang the national anthem. We sang the national anthem for the Boston Bruins. So that was a huge year. We just kept building and building. Then it came to the point where I was going to go to college, and I ended up deciding to take a year off of college. I was going to go to Bridgewater State. I decided not to go because I wanted to take a year to continue to learn in this field. So I worked at the stadium throughout that year and then continued to grow Inspiration. We did Cape Cod. The next year we did Norwegian Cruise Lines. We did Virginia Beach and Busch Gardens. Last year we did Hershey Park. So every year I try to add a new trip that we go on, a new venue, and then we continue to do a lot of our local venues. You can see us at Norfolk Community Day and Foxboro Founders Day.
Yep.
We do Faneuil Hall. We always love to do things that give back to the community. So we'll perform at Boston Children's Hospital and different nursing homes. And if there's ever, a charity event that needs performers, we're always down to go and perform that. We've done a lot of memorial services. So we do a little bit of everything. And I think that's my favorite part about Inspiration is I can tailor it to whatever the needs of the community are and however I kind of want to do it that year. If we want to do a 60-minute show, great. If we want to do a 25-minute show, I'll take what I have and who I have and kind of change it around. So
That's great.
It's definitely grown a lot. And then last year, when the Orpheum reopened again as the Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center, I seized that opportunity to get in there and expand. So we were able to do 2 musicals so far. I'm actually taking a break on the Inspiration musicals, and we'll talk a little bit about that later, how we're going to do things with the MRPAC instead. But we did Heathers the Musical and Fame the Musical, and both were hugely successful. We had so many amazing, talented people come out for the show. They sold really well. So it was an awesome experience doing that and definitely opened a lot of doors for Inspiration. But my favorite thing that we did with Inspiration, we started it last year, was the Sharing the Spotlight program. And it all started because I also was a competitive swimmer. I swam in high school and college. And I coached a swim team, and I also volunteer coached a Special Olympics swim team. And I remember one of the parents saying, "Oh, you do theater? It's such a shame that they don't have a lot of theater opportunities for our kids. Like, it's great, we have lots of sports. You're here coaching a Special Olympics swim team, but my kid really loves to sing and to dance, and I just wish there was something there." And so on that car ride home, I was like, oh my God, well, I should just start one.
Why not?
Because if no one else is going to do it, or, it's not, I'm sure there's so many programs like that around, but not one that I know about locally and here. And so I was like, well, I'm going to do it because I think that there's such a need for this. So I called up my 2 best friends, Adam and Kyle, who I'm sure people will start to see around at the theater more and more. They've been super involved in helping us grow a lot. And I called them up and I was like, hey, do you want to take on this project for me? And, I sat down for many months developing the perfect program, the curriculum, how we were going to go about it, what, our template was going to be, and how we were going to be able to make this successful and what our real mission was for this program. And we launched it in January of last year, 2018. 2019.
Well, 18. It was still 19 so far.
Yeah. And we did The Wizard of Oz. We had almost 40 participants with special needs or disabilities in the program. Every single one of them was a cast member. They all had lines. They all got to sing and dance. They all had costumes. We had full set pieces. We had microphones, everything. We wanted to give them a real performing arts experience that we would give to anyone, the same budget that I would give to Fame and Heathers with Inspiration Performing Arts. We wanted to make this program a real experience for them. And we had the most amazing volunteers. So we pair up our volunteers and our participants one-on-one or 3 2-to-1, depending on the participants' needs and the volunteer experience. And I really think that the volunteers benefit from the program just as much as the kids, and myself and my friends and everyone that is involved in it. It's seriously changed our lives, and I'm just so excited to keep doing it. And we did a summer show, we did The Little Mermaid, and we just this weekend did Rudolph, just like a little medley of Rudolph songs and scenes in our Christmas extravaganza at the Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center. And I mean, it's just the best thing ever, and I want everyone in the world to get involved in it. So I'm definitely going to be expanding, which I will be announcing through Inspiration in a few months. We're working on developing a franchise situation where we can take our program and offer it anywhere. If a rec department in Arizona wants to take our model that we've created and use that to offer the program, and we can give them tips and train them on how to do it, that's kind of the goal. We want this to be a program that's widely known I want everyone to be able to offer this, and I want everyone to be able to benefit from it. So that's another thing in all my free time that I have.
In your free time, yes. Well, now, see, everybody knows about this now. So if you want to volunteer, and you want to help out at the Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center, just talk to Emily.
Yes.
Just stop in, say hi, and say, what can I do?
Absolutely. We're always looking for volunteers for the theater, for sharing the spotlight, for everything. If you want to get involved in the theater community here in Foxboro, you can message me on various amounts of emails. EmilyG@orpheum.org will definitely connect you to the theater. And if you're interested in sharing the spotlight or Inspiration Performing Troupe, you can email me at info@inspirationperformingarts.com. And they cross, so if you email the wrong one, I'll still get it.
Eventually, right? All right, well, now's the part of the show where we can talk about some of the great events that are coming up.
Yes.
So we can let people know about it.
Yeah,
So,
we've got so many cool things that we're doing at the theater, and a lot of the things were booked before I came in, and we're really excited about those, but we've also come up with a lot of new programs that we want to do. So we just had a really successful Christmas extravaganza over the weekend where we had all the different groups that perform at the theater each do a number or two, and we had Santa come out at the end, and it was a wonderful event, and it sold amazing. I mean, it was exactly what this theater is about bringing different organizations in the community together. And so that will for sure be something that we do every year, and a new tradition. But we have a lot of other new traditions that we're starting as well.
The new trivia series. Talk about that. You got the holiday movie trivia coming up on December 11th.
Yes, so the trivia, one of the biggest things that I decided when I got this position was I want the theater to be a place for everybody. And I obviously come from a theater background, and most of the people that are currently doing things there come from a theater background or caring about going to see a show. But I want everyone in the community to have a home at the Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center and have a reason to go there. So we're really trying to book some new exciting concerts and comedians and events like that. But I was thinking, well, trivia is a great way to get somebody into the theater that might not be interested in musicals or plays and get them invested in what we're doing there. So we decided to launch the trivia series, and we had our first one. We had office trivia last month. It went amazing. It sold out. People had so much fun. It was actually really hard.
Yeah, I'm not a big...
The trivia questions were hard.
I wouldn't have been able to do that one. I'm not as big of an office fan. But
we had some office
holiday movie trivia, I think I could handle.
Yeah, and we have our beer and wine license, so people can come and get beer and wine. It's sponsored by Union Straw. We have an amazing partnership with them. They've been doing a lot to help us out. And the winner of the trivia gets a $50 Union Straw gift card. And if people want, they can actually order takeout, and we'll go pick it up and bring like Union Straw appetizers and things like that to the theater. So it's a really cool.
That sounds like a great time.
Yeah, and we do it in the upper lobby, so it's a smaller space. It's a with the tables and complimentary popcorn. It's just a very fun experience. So we're doing our holiday movie trivia next. And then in January, we actually go to Friends trivia. A little sneak peek for all of you guys.
When you do Big Bang Theory trivia, let me know.
Oh yeah, and if anyone has trivia things they want to see, I know Game of Thrones and Harry Potter and Seinfeld, and there's a lot of things that we can do. 80s music, and, there's so many categories, but definitely if you have ideas, send them my way. Email me. We want to keep this programming going once a month for as long as possible. So definitely don't want to run out of ideas for trivia.
Awesome. And let's see, on the 28th. December 28th, Jim Slattery with Big Rock Finish.
Yes!
Some rock.
Jim Slattery, I'm sure many people in the community know him. He's been here his whole life, and he's on our board of directors. He's the best. He is so helpful with coming to the theater and doing all the things that we need and whacking our HVAC system, trying to get it to work.
Give it a kick, give it a nudge.
And one of the big things that he does is him and his band do a concert for the theater, and all the proceeds go to the theater. And this year we're really pushing to get a new sound system. There are so many upgrades that we need to do to our facility, and that's one of the top of the lists. And it's something that's definitely important to him, coming from a musician background. So this year the tickets are $12, and people can come. They can, if you're over 21, you can get beer and wine and just rock out to his music, and you will be supporting the theater because all the proceeds will be going towards our new sound system.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So
they're really good, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Nice. All right, the next one, I think I may have to talk about this one a little bit. longer. Hint, hint. New Year's Eve,
Yes.
Foxboro JCs present the American Who and Dazed. Now, I'm going to, full disclosure, I am a member of the Foxboro JCs, so this one is near and dear to my heart because in this one, if you purchase tickets, the net proceeds of the ticket sales are split between the JCs for all the community projects, and the other half goes to the theater. So we want to get people out for this one. This is going to be a fun night.
Oh yeah, and there's a use of champagne toast at the end of the night for those 21 plus.
Of course.
And again, like pretty much every single one of our events will have our beer and wine available to everybody. We've got awesome things on draft. Our liquor manager, Rob Canfield, is amazing, and he comes up with some of the coolest flavors, and we coordinate them with the different seasons. So I think it will be a very exciting night.
I've never been disappointed in the beer I've gotten at the theater, so you won't be either. And then, let's see, January 17th and the 19th, 13, the musical.
Yes, so I've been producing musicals through Inspiration for a while now, and I've directed and choreographed a million different musicals all over the place. And one of my biggest passions is producing a musical, taking it from, okay, we're going to take this musical and now we're going to design the set and we're going to hire all the people, we're going to create a budget, we're going to sell our tickets, we're going to do our costuming, and let's put on this beautiful final product. It's one of the things I'm most passionate about in life. And we were originally going to do 13, the musical, with Inspiration Performing Arts Company this winter. When I got this position, I decided that the theater will make more money if it's produced by the theater and all the proceeds go to the theater rather than Inspiration. And I know I said earlier, I don't ever do anything for Inspiration for the money. Inspiration only needs our operating, costs to keep going, whereas the theater has so much more of a need for funds and for upgrades and things like that. So I decided to transfer it over, so went through a whole process with the licensing company to try to move the rights over, and so we got them over to the theater instead. And basically I took the same exact production staff that I was going to have with 13 and I said, okay, we're all actually operating under the Orpheum now. And,
nice.
And everyone was super excited about it. A new opportunity to offer something for the theater, for the community. We have over 30 kids from around the community. We actually pulled a lot of kids from Rhode Island as well. A lot of the kids that do Inspiration and that I've met through doing shows all over the place came and auditioned, and a lot of new people that I've never worked with before, which was really exciting, a lot of local kids. So we're doing 13. It's about a kid named Evan who moves to a new town. He has his bar mitzvah coming up and he's new to the school, so he's trying to make friends, and there's, average middle school drama going on. It's actually an incredible story. It has a really good message. So, and the music is amazing. I'm choreographing it as well, and a lot of my really good friends are working on the show. So it's been a fun experience, and I think it will be really, really, really good show. So I'd highly recommend coming. It's our first MRPAC produced musical, so if it does really well, we'd love to continue to do more. I already have something in the works for this summer, for next fall, for next December. So we're hoping the first one goes well so that we can continue to do these musicals and have a really high quality performing arts experience right in Foxboro.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. So one thing I wanted to ask you before we end the show is, so how does one, what advice would you give to somebody who really wants to be in the theater?
I think no matter who you are, where your natural abilities or talents lie, what kind of experience you have in the past, the theater has a place for everyone. You don't have to be an amazing singer to be involved in musicals. There is so much need for tech people. There's need for volunteers. There's need for box office management. Anybody can be involved in theater. There's so many jobs, and you don't have to directly be on stage. And even if that's what you want to do, there's so many opportunities for that too. You can do different plays and different musicals that are offered through different companies. But I actually have had some of my most amazing experiences. I'm a performer at heart. I've always been. And it's actually been a few years since I've been in a show because I have so much fun doing things on the other side, those behind the scenes. I love directing, I love choreographing, I love designing sets, and I even love building sets. I love sitting there with my saws and, coming up with blueprints and designing everything.
Wow.
And I think that the theater really is a place for everyone, no matter who you are, what you've done, or what you are able to do, there's a job for you. And I think that if you are able to get involved in a theater, especially a community theater like ours, you're gonna be so invested and you're gonna find so much joy in the things that you're producing and the things that you're doing. And I mean, I as you all know, I love theater so much, and I love every aspect of theater so much. So I really genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, think that our theater is a place for everyone and has something for everyone and can offer something to everyone.
And it's a great place to get your feet wet.
Absolutely.
So if anybody wants, like I said, contact Emily if you want to start learning about the theater and get involved. That's the way to start.
Absolutely.
And also, if you want to buy tickets to some of these shows, where can they get the tickets?
Ooh, so we have like 12 names. But you can go to www.orpheum.org, MarylandRodmanPerformingArtsCenter.org, OrpheumFoxboro.org. They'll all bring you to our website. So yeah, I always say Orpheum.org just because it's the shortest and easiest to say.
Yeah. Or just stop in and say hi and buy your tickets right there.
Absolutely. There's usually always someone there.
Yeah, there's always somebody there. The doors, you see the doors open, somebody's there.
We don't have a typical 40-hour work week in this field.
No. Well, thank you once again, Emily, for stopping in.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And we learned a lot about you. And, don't forget, everybody, Behind the Curtain.
Yes.
Airs on Foxboro Cable Access. Emily is the host of that, so check that out. And I'd like to say, on behalf of everybody here, have a great night, and we'll see you down the road.
Yes, thank you so much.